You're listening to the Smash Bros. Cast episode 21. I'm your host, N64 Josh, my co-host and sparring partner, NightCrawlr. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? A little bit to talk about this week.
Oh, just a little. You know, a little bit of Evo, a little bit of Smash Direct, nothing big. This is what we were waiting for with this show, right? Like we were like grasping for straws before, trying to pull content out of the air. Now content is falling right in our laps. It is glorious.
I don't know if it's like a fire hose in our face. But
that works too. That works too. I can take it. So, quick few announcements. We do this show live, twitch.tv/N64Josh, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fridays. Come hang out. It is a good time. Couple quick ads. If you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/SBC. There you can pick up books like Ready Player One or Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Check them out. They're good. audibletrial.com/SBC. Secondly, the chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. You can go to n64josh.com/OP-seat and you can automatically save $10 at checkout by using that link. All their gaming chairs are $10 off right now, $50 off right now, $10 extra if you go through that link, and it helps support this show. So thank you guys so much for that. Let's get into the Smash news. What are we starting with, man?
Crawler's Countdown to Smash. Don't you have music for me?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Nope. Here we go.
Nope.
Where'd it go? There it is.
Alrighty. As of today, August 10th, we are 118 days away, and it feels like we're getting close. I want it more and more after seeing the direct stuff.
118 days. Why does it feel like 118 years?
Well, because we're only in the middle of summer right now, and we got to get all the way to being really close to Christmas. That seems like a long way away.
Yeah, it does. It does. Man, I'm stoked. Evo 2018. We got some results and we got some controversy.
Yep.
On the Wii U, Lima. Guess who he played? Can you guess? Can you guess, chat? Can you guess? Guess who he played?
Did he? He played, did he?
It starts with a Bayo and ends with a Netta. You ready? Well, but wait. Second place.
Who did he play against?
Was CaptainZack. Guess who he played as?
Bayonetta.
Oh, bro.
I'm pretty good.
How'd you guess? All right.
That's a gift. But wasn't there was like three Bayos in the top four?
Yeah.
So there was. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Let's go to Melee.
We'll get there. TSM Leffen. He's your winner for Melee. Played a Fox. And then Armada was number 2. He played Peach and Fox. I hope you guys got to watch some of this. Like, I really enjoyed what I got to see. It was there were some pretty intense battles, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Did you get a chance to see any of it?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I did. I had to go back and watch the full replay of the Wii U stuff, but I did see some of the Melee finals live, and then I did see the award ceremony, I think, for Melee. And poor side note, poor Plup had a panic attack on stage, first time ever. I've been kind of following a little bit on Twitter, but he just looked off during the award ceremony, and he was up there, and he went later on Twitter to kind of tell everybody he was okay, but he had a panic attack for the first time ever while he was up on stage, and you just kind of felt for the guy.
Oh, those things are miserable, absolutely miserable. So, best of luck getting over those things, because they suck. So, Bayonetta. Anybody that knows me knows I love Bayonetta. I love the games, but something's got to be done. Like, we could be saying goodbye to Wii U as far as Evo goes, right? It could be the last time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're done with Wii U at Evo.
And it kind of went out on an extremely sour note. You mentioned it earlier, but 3 of the top 4 players in the Wii U finals were Bayo mains. And this caused some of the crowd to walk out of the finals, and those that stuck around watched and booed. During one of his matches, CaptainZack won, was booed, and then flipped the entire audience off as he was heading off the stage. And not good. Not good. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the idea of banning an entire character from a competition, but I mean, I just think there wasn't really any great answer to Bayo with what anybody was playing. I have talked to some people about this, and I mean, the argument that there's soft counters to Bayo, there's no great hard counter, and that maybe Bayo does need to be banned, but just hopefully maybe Zachary is paying attention to this. I know he saw stuff with Bayo at the E3 Invitational and didn't like what he saw with some of that stuff, so hopefully everything's going to kind of work its way out for Ultimate and we don't kind of have this problem. But yeah, I'm just hoping that maybe even some of the other characters coming in are going to be better options, maybe to take on Bayonetta a little bit.
These guys were. She's obviously OP'd, right? She's OP. There's no way around it. It's just the way it is, and something has to happen in Ultimate. Now, we've mentioned kind of the new Nintendo we've been seeing. The Wii U, it seemed. I mean, I know that Smash on Wii U had a number of updates, right? What was it, like 17?
Yeah, 17 total updates.
But I don't know that we ever saw as fast the updates coming out as fast as we're seeing with like Aces. Aces has already had like 2 updates since it released with major character changes. Like, we're going to know real quick which characters are overpowered, which characters are underpowered, and maybe it's going to be the kind of thing that we ride this wave of like, hey, there's a current meta right now where Bayo and Chrom and Simon Belmont are all, top tier, but then they kind of get nerfed. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay if there's these waves in the meta. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, both you and I played a lot of Destiny. Like, they talked about, as that game came out, having seasons of weapons, and so maybe it can change. I don't know how much it could change that much with a fighting game, but maybe we can kind of go through those ebbs and flows, nerfs and buffs, kind of with some of the characters in Ultimate. I don't know.
The tricky part with it is because so many people main certain characters, right? Like, that if you want to main Bayo and you get really good with her and then they nerf her into the ground, that could be hours and hours and hours and hours of time wasted. So, hopefully the things that we see are just really, really good balances, and not to where we see characters get nerfed so bad that they drop to the bottom tier and they're not even usable anymore. That's what I don't want to see happen to Bayo. Like, she's an awesome character. Like, let's keep her around, but something's got to be done. She's like the final boss.
She's fun. She's fun to play, and she's fun to play for a reason, kind of, because she's overpowered. But
yeah, just extremely easy to combo with, that kind of thing. But overall, the tournament would have looked completely different had they just banned her. Right? If they said those 3 players might not have even made it to the top 8. And it's a tough situation that they're in, because it's like, well, do we basically exclude those players at that point, or do we let everybody play and let the best man or woman win? And it didn't. It was all Bayo. So
yeah, and I don't think any of the players deserve the hate that they've gotten from the community based on just they're playing something that's in the game. I mean, if anything, I guess it comes down to the tournament organizer to kind of come up with the rule set that they want to have, and if it's allowed, it's allowed. And I just don't think. I mean, I've heard about. I saw something on Twitter. One of the, I think Lima was getting death threats from people and just all sorts of stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Oh yeah, some of the stuff that you were telling me, you saw some of the tweets were just absolutely disgusting, like, and just not appropriate, not okay to be. It's over a video game, you know.
Yeah. Like,
it's just a video game, so calm down. You'll be okay, and hopefully it'll work itself out next year when Ultimate's there. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You can get upset over stuff. Maybe your favorite team doesn't win a sports, your favorite football team loses, whatever, but like it really doesn't affect you. So just move on and, find things that you like and be happy. It's okay. So
it's a game. Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we see an improvement next year. Let's talk about all the happy news, bro. The Smash Bros. Direct. Wow. I'm going to preface this with something I mentioned on Twitter, and I said this on my other show too, but I tweeted out, like, I now understand why Nintendo's putting so much time and sharing so much about Smash is because of how much stuff there is and how much they need to get out of this game. This game is not going to be cheap to make. This game is showing us that, like, it's almost bad what they're doing because they're going, hey, look what you can still do for a $60 game. And it's like, oh, great. Nobody else is ever going to come close to this much content. Most fighting games nowadays are like a small roster and then you can pay for DLC. Not Smash. It's like, nah, we're just inviting everybody. It's all good. It's all
and
good.
They're also, we'll get to it a little bit later down the list in the direct stuff, but they're also innovating with what the hardware can do. Because there's, something unique that Smash is going to have that the Switch is doing for them that I don't think we even knew it could do. And we'll get to that when we get to the music. But you just want to start off the bat with kind of what we got.
Let's go for it, man. What was the opening?
So we got kind of what we thought was, it was kind of apparent what castle we were in, but Luigi was hanging out somewhere where he shouldn't have been. And our boy Luigi was killed by death, or so we thought, but Nintendo came back later and told us that he was okay.
Only Nintendo of UK.
But Nintendo of UK had something else that I'm excited for that I hope Nintendo of America gives us here in a little bit. But Simon Belmont shows up and starts just beating everybody up and kind of showing us what he's got, and that was really cool to see. And I mean, from this point, I think, kind of going down the list, you and I were talking earlier this week about the Game Facts leak that we had well before E3. That kind of, I think he was mentioned in that leak as well. So that kind of is just solidifying that leak more and more as to being correct as it was as stuff that was coming out about that.
Which was strange, right? That was, we all kind of figured, none of this is happening. Then boom, there it is. So let's backtrack a little bit about poor Luigi, though, right? Like,
yeah, he had his vacuum and he had his strobe,
his poltergust, but it was different. It was different, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Have you played Dark of the Moon?
I haven't.
Did you play the first Luigi's Mansion?
I haven't. I know.
Chat, you guys can help me out, maybe? Like, has he always had a suction cup that shoots out of that thing? Like,
yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't remember that. And so I'm kind of wondering, like, is that actually teasing something else? Because that poltergust was completely different than what it has been in the other two games. That was a whole new design. So
there you go. I like that idea, Nintendo. New Luigi's Mansion coming.
Yeah, bring it. Let's go. So next up, not only do we see Simon, we see the castle, we see the stage. The stage is like crazy, right?
The stage is crazy. Yeah. They talk about how it's the darkest stage in Smash Bros. And then I feel like it's going to have the most variety if you're playing it with hazards on, because all of the monsters from Castlevania can show up. I think we saw we saw Frankenstein, we saw Dracula himself. Medusa heads were in the trailer. I don't know if they're going to be flying around in the stage, but it looks like it's going to be a really interesting stage. It's kind of I think it's a RNG kind of on what monster you're going to get, and Dracula seems to be the rarest of it all if he shows up. But if Dracula does show up, it's almost game over for everybody. It seems like it's kind of fireballs everywhere, and it looks like it's going to be hard to survive if Dracula shows up.
Dude, the music. Didn't
you count how many tracks were there?
I think 34 just Castlevania tracks. 34. And when they showed it, when they opened up with the cinematic or whatever, and you just hear this double bass and these metal guitars, I was like, I think I found heaven, So really, really stoked for that. So moving right along, we saw Simon, then we get to see Richter, right? And Stealth from Twitter, I think it was him anyway, pointed out that they have the same walking animation that they had in each of their games. Their walking animation was slightly different, and you can see, and even going back to the stage, when you hit the candles and the item appears, I feel like the amount of detail that is going into this is more than we deserve, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
And it's every single time something new is kind of introduced, the Twitter just ends up coming up with stills and different comparison shots that say, this is how much time and attention to detail Sakurai and his team are giving to this game, and they're taking the the original footage of games and animations and all that kind of stuff, and really making sure that it's honoring those people that made those games, and they can kind of have that as something to put kind of up on their shelf, so to speak, of my character was in Smash and it looked just like how I made it, kind of thing.
Mr. Cool Luigi is asking, is there wall meat? And then he finished by saying that will disappear when I need it the most. Which... I
did see a chicken. There was a chicken, wasn't there? I saw chicken.
So, okay, well, moving along in the direct, we then get to some Echo characters. We get Chrom, who is a Roy Echo from Fire Emblem, and we got a Dark Samus, who, guess what, is a Samus Echo. Surprise. Yep. So pretty awesome though. We're seeing, and they also mentioned that when it comes to Echo characters, you can either show everybody or you can hide the Echo characters behind the main character. So pretty neat. And then we're gonna skip ahead because we're just gonna go over new characters, and then we'll continue on through just kind of talking about some of the stages briefly. But typical direct fashion says, hey, we're done. Shows some really killer artwork. It showed Mario and Bowser, Fox and Falco and Wolf, Samus and Ridley. And then I think it showed Kirby and King Dedede also. And then it shows Donkey Kong, and he yawns, and they're kind of just chilling out. And all of a sudden there's
Can we talk real quick about how dirty he keeps his house? He was just throwing bananas everywhere. He just ate one and threw the banana peel.
This is true. He's just a slob. So there's a rustle in the trees, and Diddy and Donkey look out the window and they see what looks like King K. Rool. But no. It was King Dedede just messing with everybody, just trolling everybody like he does. And, but then King K. Rool came out, smacked King Dedede, and Diddy and Donkey were their eyeballs bugged out of their head. They were freaking out. They were breaking glass with their eyeballs. It was hilarious. And they then proceeded to show him fighting them on different stages and different things. But what was very interesting is somebody went through on Twitter and found the different boss fights from the different Donkey Kong countries. And a lot of it was emulating what you saw in those older games. So, a lot of his movesets were from, maybe he had a gun when they in this boss fight, or he had boxing gloves in the 64, that kind of stuff. And man, so cool. Well, I mean, the internet's been
my SNES Classic,
right? Yeah,
go back and play those.
The internet's been wanting this character in Smash for the longest time. But what were your thoughts?
He looks great. I mean, I think having some more of those heavy fighter options. I personally don't play that style a whole lot with the heavyweights, but having more variety than just, I mean, it grew from just Donkey Kong and Bowser, and it's grown a little bit with Ganondorf and more characters as they've gotten added. But I think giving the people that like that kind of play style more options, that's great. And I know that Super Nintendo in the Discord, he really is hoping for a King Hippo echo of King K. Rool. So I mean, and the moveset maybe could match up. I think there's a few things that would need to be tweaked, but that could be really fun as well. Is if we can just kind of build upon some of these new characters that we're adding in, if we can get more from the Nintendo universe in there, that'd be great.
Yeah, one of the other characters I was thinking about for Echo characters with Little Mac would have been Balrog from Street Fighter 2. He'd be a great fit as well. And since Capcom and Nintendo seem to get along so nice, you never know. You never know.
Yep.
So, okay, well, there's a ton of stages, and by a ton of stages, I mean, I don't know, 103. 103. They go through and show a bunch of them. You've got Dracula's Castle from Castlevania. You've got Great Bay from Zelda. You've got Shadow Moses from Metal Gear. Living Room from Nintendogs. Gaur Plain from Xenoblade. Figure 8 Circuit, Mario Kart. Flat Zone X, Game & Watch. Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon. Garden of Hope, Pikmin. Brinstar Depths, Metroid. Summit, Ice Climbers. Unova, Pokemon League from Pokemon. Magician, is that how you say it? I'm not even sure. Earthbound
sure.
Mother. Gamer from WarioWare. Final Destination, which looks super cool now. There's like this blue ring kind of going in the background. Pretty
There's
cool.
like red lights glowing on the floor.
Yeah, just it's a new design, and I like the way it looks. So New Donk City Hall from Super Mario Odyssey. Let's take a second on this one here. So you're playing this and you're changing levels, kind of like there's like an elevator moving you up and down the skyscrapers, that kind of stuff. And there's musicians floating around. Like if you get near them, they might start playing their sax or shredding on the guitar. And Pauline was there singing. So sorry if you were hoping that she'd be
I think Captain Toad was hanging out on the skyscraper as well.
Was he really? Okay. You can see the
so.
Odyssey floating around. Yeah, pretty. It's just really cool seeing all this stuff come in. And that I've heard a lot of people say they're so tired of the song Jump Up Superstar or whatever. They're like, I don't want to hear this song anymore. But you'll have options. You can turn it down, turn it off if you need to. But and then lastly, we saw the Smash Bros. 64 stages. And they mentioned nostalgia and trying to keep more of that original look with them. So how about some of our mode changes and updates? What do we got?
Yeah, so we have 5v5 with up to 10 players. So I think is that kind of their clan battle kind of thing, squad battle kind of thing? Where it's not going to be 5 people. It's not going to be 10 people it's not going to be 10 person Smash or anything. It's going to be matchup versus matchup, and you kind of go at it. And it's kind of something that's evolved from, if you go back and watch the Smash Bros. Documentary that Josh talked about on the first couple episodes. That's kind of something that evolved at the competitive scene, that they would have those squad battles. And so yeah, that's cool that they're kind of taking notice of what has worked in the past for kind of what the community has created. And then secondly, we have a tournament mode, which I think we're kind of hungry for a little bit more details on what that's going to entail, but it looks like it's going to be able to be. Did we decide if it's local and online, or we're not quite sure yet?
I posted that question either on Twitter or in my Discord or on Twitch, and I believe it's I mean, I guess I would say don't quote me on it, but I believe it's offline and online.
Yeah. And I think we have, as the user, have more control over it comparatively as compared to what we have in Aces, where it's only online and it's only against randoms. Right. So hopefully this will be a lot better for Discord communities and for private websites that are doing tournaments or stuff like that. So hopefully that'll be good. Again, we were talking beforehand. I don't know if Final Smash Charge, I don't know if that's its own mode or not, but it could just be a option in the settings that you can either turn off the Smash Ball and then instead you have a charge meter for your Final Smash, and it's a little bit weaker. And I know, Josh, your goal, your hope was, and I think you responded to Vicky Kitty on Twitter about this, right? About just hoping that it could maybe find its way into competitive Smash a little bit more, since it's not as powerful and it's not as just luck based as being the last person to hit the Smash Ball to get it.
Well, because it's nerfed, it seems to me that you leave yourself open to get to get punished if you miss, right? I mean, thinking about certain characters like Mario, right? He's throwing that massive fireball. Samus is shooting that giant blast. Well, if you don't time that right and somebody jumps over you and gets behind you, you're getting punished for that. Like, it's not going to be, so there's going to be some risk and reward there to see if it's even worth it. So, and the other thing is, if we do see that they work really well and people are using them that often, or using them often, maybe add an extra stock to the competitive matches to make up for the fact that, hey, you might get wiped out early from these Final Smash. We don't know what the percentage needs to be in order to get a kill with this new mechanic. So, and the reason I'm so far, and from what I've gathered from online, is not a lot of people are real excited about it in the competitive scene, you know. And I don't know if that's just kind of wanting to teach old dogs new tricks, and, you know, people don't like change. I don't know what the case is. I know even some of the people in our Discord and stuff have said they don't like it. But the reason I'm for it is I've always felt like we're missing that part of the game. Like, those animations and everything that you get to see are awesome. They're really, really cool. And I saw someone else tweet about it. I believe it was one of the commentators from Evo, but I don't remember for sure. Basically something along the lines of like, look, the Final Smash in Smash Bros isn't like a super in like Street Fighter or something where like you can rack up these massive combos and that kind of stuff. You still have got to make sure you can time this thing exactly.
Oh, it's easy to miss on some of those. Yeah. And
the other thing too is they showcased it in a 4v4 scenario. Well, how fast does this thing even charge if you're doing 1v1? You know, you may not even see it except for one time near the end of the match. And if that ends up being the case, if it ends up being to where maybe only one person can get to the point that they have it fully charged, well, maybe it won't work. But I'm optimistic, and I want to see how the mechanics work before we just say, oh no, don't put that in. Like, I want to see these things. I like the way they look. I want to see the animations, you know? So
yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much of the game, especially on like Wii U, that I haven't seen just because I don't play with assist trophies on or a lot of that stuff. And I couldn't tell you what a lot of Final Smashes look like just because that's not how like For Glory works right now. Like there's no items, there's no Final Smashes. It's just two stocks and you're fighting just straight up. So I would like to kind of see, I mean, a way to have just more people exposed to all the hard work that went into this game. And I mean, we know that there's a ton there that we haven't even seen yet as well.
Sorry about that noise you just heard, guys. That was a subscriber on Twitch. So Alexander the G, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub. And they are now muted, so you guys won't have to be told to play with power anymore. So yeah, anyway, I do want to see, I want to see what can what can be made of it? You know, this community is creative. They've built this thing from the ground up, right? And so, but I wonder if they still want to be that creative or just like, hey, let's just leave well enough alone. Either way, we're still going to have awesome matches, you know?
Yeah.
So
and going back, I mean, even on Twitter, I've seen a lot of proposed rule sets already that people have kind of been coming up even without having seen, or maybe some of those people have actually gotten to play a build of the game. But for all of us not having the game in our hands, to kind of the community already starting to work on rule sets is great.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So let's see.
There's one more thing on mode changes and updates. So last thing was kind of teased, and it was around the stages, is a new kind of, I think it's just an option. I'm not sure if it's its own mode or not, but it is a thing you can probably select to probably kind of even the playing field on a round one of a tournament or something like that, is stage morph. So you can select 2 stages before the match starts, and then I don't know if it's randomly throughout the match or if it's halfway through the match or certain stocks. I don't know what triggers it, but the stage will morph into the new stage. And what was the example that they had? I know it went to F-Zero, but I forget what the first stage was in the direct. Do you remember, Josh?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Yeah, I know it morphed into the F-Zero track, but yeah, it looked. I mean, it was pretty seamless.
Did it go from Kirby? Was it Wispy Woods?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember, but
yeah, it didn't seem like it kind of. I'm trying to think. I think there's something on a Wii U stage where it resets and builds back up, and it kind of the background just kind of goes white for a second, and then it all just kind of, you're standing on kind of an invisible platform, and then everything kind of materializes underneath you, and it just becomes that new stage.
I think Final Destination does it.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure, like when there's like something coming at you, like looks like a meteor or the sun or something, or you fly into it, or I don't know, but that seems to happen every now and again. So, okay, moving right along, because we are going to go long on this one, so hope you guys are cool with that. 900 different tracks of audio in this game, and the way I described this last night on the Nintendo Powercast was you could use your Switch to be the world's largest awkward MP3 player. And, we see a gal put it in her purse, put headphones in, and you can listen to the music while you're sleeping, or no, while it's sleeping, not while it's sleeping. And,
you could listen.
I mean, yeah, if you want to fall asleep to Smash, I totally get it. But while in sleep mode, do you see yourself doing this?
Probably not. I'd like to be able to find the music somewhere outside of the game, just because sifting through 900 tracks in game is probably a lot. They did go into kind of a little bit of detail that it is all separated by game. So like if you want to just look for Zelda music or you want to look for Metroid music, it's all there. And then kind of some of the music that's just one and done or two and done kind of stuff is going to be in its own category that you can then sift through. So everything is kind of by game, which is great. But I'm hoping Nintendo plays nice with Spotify or iTunes or something, and we can maybe go find that stuff somewhere else as well. Or just, I know they're sampling a lot of stuff on the website right now, so maybe it'll just kind of be open source there on the internet that we can go listen to on their site. Even that would be great, but I'm not holding my breath for that. So
right, yeah. I mean, unless you're going back to Genko's or something, you want to be able to put the Switch in your pocket. Like, I don't foresee maybe some really, really long, like a really long cord and some cargo pants, maybe cargo shorts. I don't know.
For all you kids that weren't alive in the 90s, Genko's were really, really obnoxiously large jeans that had giant pockets.
Yeah. Like you could fit like, I don't know, a full-size cat in one of these pockets if you really wanted to.
You put your lunchbox in there.
Yeah, like, there's no joke. It was no joke. The Nintendo saying they were the bomb. See? There you go. If you guys want to see what they kind of look like now, just type in goth kids dancing to Thomas the tank engine under a bridge, and it's the funniest thing. And they're basically wearing Jenkos. So there you go.
Those kids dance to a lot of different music. That has been a great video. But yes,
yeah. Jenko and No Fear. Oh my gosh, we are on a rabbit trail for sure. But yes, I love it. Love it. All right, Shovel Knight, Zero, Gray Fox, so many more. We got new assist trophies. Some people were sad. They were sad because they want to see Shovel Knight as a playable character. What do you think?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the NightCrawlr game that's coming out at the end of this month, where he is a playable fighter. I forget what that game is called, but I think Isaac from Binding of Isaac's in that game as well as Shovel Knight. So I don't know if there's any contractual stuff there, but you never know. Like, I think you were saying earlier this week that this might be the first time that we see eventually assist trophies move over to the playable cast of characters. So maybe stuff happens down the road that those assist trophies are still there, maybe even, and they're just become playable characters. So it would be nice, but.
And I remember Kirby correcting me on this too. It's not the first time, because Little Mac, I believe, was an assist trophy in.
He was. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. In the older games. So.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible. I believe it is. Yeah. So it's not impossible. And here's the thing to keep in mind with this game. It goes back to a statement Nintendo made earlier this year that they are really focusing on games as a service, which means that we are going to see DLC and support for this game for quite some time. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like a perfect example of just a crazy amount of content. The game sold over 1 million. Smash is going to sell way more than that. Like, way more than that. And I can guarantee you that it's just, we are going to see, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw seasons with Smash, like maybe or maybe a season pass or something like that. But like where there's like regular updates, probably see some free content, probably see some premium content. There's so many other characters that could still make it into the Smash series. There's a lot. And so seeing some of these assist trophies come over to be actual fighters, I don't see why it wouldn't happen, because they've already got the assets there. That's easy, other than building the moveset or making them an Echo. So
yeah. The biggest thing I'm hopeful for DLC is that it's maybe just a little bit cheaper than it was on Wii U. Wii U kind of was expensive, I feel like, but I'm all for adding new characters, and I want to pay for it because it is a lot of time and effort it goes into making that. But hopefully it's just maybe a little bit more reasonable in price, or like you said, kind of that season pass, or you never know, maybe the money from Nintendo Online is going to help subsidize a little bit of that. And we've been getting free updates for Splatoon for over a year now. So hopefully that kind of model can be adopted for Smash.
I think the way it's going with Splatoon is that we saw free, and then we saw paid, that then paid for more free DLC. And for a multiplayer game like that, it's the best. It's a great way to do it, because it doesn't divide the community for those that have access to the new maps that they paid for and those that don't. Right. Mm-hmm.
And Smash for Wii U has kind of kept the community together, because even if, because you and I have played against some people in the community, in the Discord and other places, and if somebody has a stage that we don't have, it's already downloaded in the update for us, so we have it on our system. So if they select it and they were the person to select the stage, we get to fight on that. The only difference is that if I know you don't own all the DLC characters, so if you want to have that competitive advantage fighting somebody that maybe has that, then you don't have that option unless you want to buy it.
I can't even talk right now. There was a relatively large bit donation just put into the chat by Super Nintendo. Thank you, my friend. Sakurai said that beginners need to feel welcome in the new game. And he also says they will continue to make Smash if there's a demand for it. Now, there were also behind him during... Before
get your hats out.
I almost skipped over this part. This is from the direct still. There was a green and purple chair behind him, so clearly Waluigi is going to be a playable character in the game. I mean, this is so obvious. Right? So obvious.
Obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
100%.
obvious. I honestly think Nintendo is just trolling, and I love it. I love it. I think it's really, really cool. So, but no, Sakurai did say in an interview recently, and I have a link to NintendoEverything.com in the show notes here. Sakurai wants beginners to feel welcome in the new game and says that they will continue to make Smash if there's a demand for it. So there you go. I know a lot of people were kind of thinking like, oh, this is this maybe the last time. And he's like, no, let's keep it alive. But we need to be nice, even when we don't get characters we want, like Waluigi, okay? Because, like, we don't want him to snap his fingers like Thanos and Smash disappears, okay? So play nice. But I do want to read a few things from this article. So let's see. On his... let's see. The idea behind Smash, I feel like it should be a dream project for anybody who is into video games. The fact that we can collaborate with all these different people and characters and meld that all together without any inconsistencies is something I am very proud of. And just speaking of the new poster, right? Because they changed the way the poster looks. They added the characters to it. Like, do you know how hilarious it is that Simon Belmont is standing right next to Wii Fit Trainer and Dr. Mario is working on Mr. Game & like checking the heart of Mr. Game & Watch, which is also really funny because he's probably close to the oldest character in that game. So he's checking his heart to make sure he's healthy. Right, like it's just it's so
going back to the poster. Don't be like Nario right now and turn off that poster and try to frame it above your TV because he put out a tweet that's like, well, I guess I got to get a new one. And you never know. We don't know how many new characters are coming in, so I guess wait until after, probably a little bit after December 7th, probably to solidify your Smash Ultimate poster for framing.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. On appealing to pros and beginners from the article here, it says, if we were to lean towards one kind of player over the other, game development would be easier. But forgetting the pros foregoing the pros or foregoing the beginners wouldn't result in Smash as it is now. And that's something I hold dear and important. In the arcades when I was younger, there was a kid. When I was younger, there was a game called King of Fighters 95, and I thought I was pretty good. I had a 50 strong win streak on Street Fighter 2 around that time. So I was playing King of Fighters. Once, and the way the arcades are set up in Japan, you can't really see the person you're playing against because you're on the opposite sides of the cabinet. I was feeling pleased with myself because I was winning, and it turned out to be a total beginner with their partner, just trying to have fun. And I thought, oh no, I shouldn't have been beating them so badly. Now they're going to feel like they never want to play it again. It's important to think about the beginner crowd. On the community aspect of Smash, I realize that this is a game that lends itself to creating community. That's something I've been aware of since the initial iteration on this N64. I really want to continue to create something that doesn't break or shatter that. So, I mean, pretty cool to hear like how he was just absolutely mopping the floor with somebody in the arcade, and they were like, he kind of peeks around and is like, oh, they're just trying to learn. So, okay. And lastly, here we go. On his love for games and continuing Smash Bros. The best way to enjoy video games is to play what other people have made. But at the same time, I have a role. At this point, I have been asked to create Smash, and so I am doing that. And I will continue to do so if the demand is there. On the one hand, I play games because of my job, but on the other hand, games have this eternal, immortal attraction. Of course, I do not go back to old games if I need a refresher. But I think it is important to intentionally play and observe new games, to know what's out there. Games that are coming out now are just incredible. They're amazing. Even for people who say that they grow out of games, once they have kids and there's a game they can play together, they return. It's not about quitting or graduating from playing games. It's about finding what's enjoyable for you at that time in your life and playing that. And then the article goes on to say you can read the full piece at The Guardian. But I mean, hey, every time he finishes a Smash game, he's like, I'm done. Last game. See you later. But no, not.
He's not even done making it yet, though, and he's still willing to keep going. So that's good.
As long as the demand's there. So I mean, hopefully that means we get tons of DLC for this game, even though we're already getting so much. Just bring it on. Bring it on. The more the merrier. So pretty.
Yes. Sorry. So one thing that's on, not on our talking points that I wanted to mention was stuff that was on the Europe Nintendo account that they announced. They confirmed. This probably isn't very big surprise for all of us just because of how they've been supporting Amiibo for the new characters coming out. But all the new characters announced will have Amiibo coming out. They tweeted that out. And then also shortly after the Direct, there was a tweet of this really cool looking box that has the Everyone's Here poster on the front of it. And it is the Smash Ultimate version that includes a special edition of the game. It includes a Wii or a GameCube controller with the new Smash logo and a GameCube adapter for your GameCube controller. And there wasn't really a price point on that. I haven't seen anything for US distributors yet for that, but I'm really hoping that makes its way over here. I think I did see something as well today about a possible steelbook as well. I don't know if that's included in that version, but it looked really cool. It looked like it had the regular game that came with it, but then there was also a black steelbook with the Smash logo kind of from the Inkling reveal trailer on it. So I'm really hoping we get that here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I have a couple already, so I'd like to keep that collection going of the steelbooks. So, and it does look nice, that whole box set with the controller, the adapter, and the game. It looks good. So, all right, last little bit here. I played more Smash this week than I played in a long time. Had a great time with it. What we recommended last week was that you watch some of your replays. And so I did that. And not only did I do that, but then I watched Zero play for a little while. I jumped into his stream after I finished up one night and just kind of watched and just tried to see try to pick up on stuff. Right. And the one thing that I noticed I do is I jump around a lot without any intention, right? Like I will jump and throw a back air, and it's almost like I'm just throwing it for no reason. You know, it's almost like I'm just like I'm hoping my opponent will jump into it versus like watching Zero play. Like he jumps, throws a back air, it connects. He jumps back down and he anticipates where his opponent will be and then lands that back air again and then follows them out past the edge and does it one more time to get the kill. And that's a huge difference from the way that I play. I jumped into some 4 glory matches and I got stomped on by this guy over and over again as he played Yoshi, but I was watching the way he was playing and the way he was pulling off spikes. And I'm like, I need to play with more intention, making sure the other part of that is making sure that every time I'm going in, that I'm landing something and then either able to get out or combo into something else. And I did start trying some more combos with Mario that I hadn't experimented with much before. And I also started using Flood a little bit more just to see if I could try to keep people off the stage. And so there's still so much to learn. Like I'm constantly learning. But man, I'm having fun. I'm really, really having fun with it. And I want to see if I can start implementing some of that stuff, like really trying to be more intentional and trying to make sure, like when I'm throwing those back airs, it's because I'm in a place where I can land it, not that I'm hoping somebody's going to jump and get hit by it. And you know how often I'm in the air throwing back airs. Like it's
like you're playing Fortnite or something.
It's like my bread and butter. It's what I do. So I want to mix it up and focus a little more on Mario's play style of being like that brawler and getting in there, getting the grab, getting the combos going. So Mr. Cool Red Luigi says it'll click one day, and I totally know what he means, because I'm already seeing certain things that start to click, and I'm like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. So I don't know. How was your week?
I did a little bit of For Glory. I don't remember what day I played, but we played a little bit after last week's podcast as well. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I know what I do constantly. It's always been a problem is attacking shield. I'm getting better at recognizing it. I need to I think the best way to combat that is the other weakness I have is I don't build off the grab very often. So when somebody's shielding, I need to make sure I stop what I'm doing, stop the attack, and shift over to starting a grab and build off that. And that would kind of help both of my current problems that I have with how I play. And I feel a little bit stronger in Corrin, who I've kind of, I think, adopted as my primary main. I do want to work a little bit on Samus, because I think that's who I want to be as my original 8 kind of main for building off the unlocks and stuff in Ultimate, because we don't know if we're going to have all 12 of the original characters or just the original 8 to kind of start with. So I do want to have somebody that's in that original 8 roster that I'm super comfortable with. Josh already has Mario to kind of go with, so I need to work on Samus and move forward there. Yeah. So here's what I want to do for this week, guys. If you're not in our Discord, or if you are in our Discord, like, let's get some games together. Let's play with each other, and let's critique each other. I know there's a handful of players in our Discord that are very, very good, right? So if we can get some people to team up together and like fight a match, and then let's just talk about it. Like, let's talk about what could have been done different. Like, I'll fire the stream up one night, and we can just kind of break down what can be improved. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be, you don't want to hear like, no, you're doing this wrong, improve, but I think it will help getting that input from other people of like, hey, you can improve here, and you can do this. And then you can also hear some of your strengths. Like, you are actually doing this pretty well. That's been big for us. We've done that after we've recorded some of these episodes with some of the guests, and hearing like, yeah, you're doing this way too much, and you're not even doing anything, versus like, I was surprised, hearing them say, I was surprised at some of the combos you were able to pull off and things like that. So, and yeah, before we go, I do want to, Caterade, the new training room where we're going to be able to see like the percentages. Like, do you know what that's going to do for YouTube videos, and being able to break down how to attack like at each percentage and how far they're going to go, that kind of thing. Like, I cannot wait to dive all
into
on a
that
grid system and everything.
Exactly.
And it's going to show 0% and like halfway, 50% and over 100% damage. Knockback, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be really good.
And I have a friend, I'm going to tease it right now, but I have a friend who, he's a big time, he loves Smash. He's also in the Destiny community. He goes by the name of Fallout Plays, and he takes like a scientific approach to the way he creates his videos. So as soon as I saw that room, we'd already been in talks of doing some videos together. They are going to be epic, guys. I cannot wait to get my hands on this and start creating videos with Fallout, because it's going to be so useful. Like, we're going to be able to learn so much about the game. I cannot wait. So, let's end this thing, baby. You ready? Where can we find you?
Let's do it. You guys can find me on Twitter, NightCrawlr724. Nightcrawlers without the E. You can also check me out on Twitch, streaming occasionally, different games, kind of just variety. Sometimes we're playing Smash, sometimes we're playing Hollow Knight or other things. So come check it out there, twitch.tv/NightCrawlr724. Again, Nightcrawlr without the E. And also, you can find me hanging out in Josh's Discord. I think that is n64josh.com/Discord. Correct, Josh? Right?
That is correct. n64josh.com/Discord. Guys, the music you're hearing right now is the Metal Melee theme. You can check out the full video at n64josh.com/Metal Melee. Remember, you can get a free book from Audible by going to audibletrial.com/SBC. Pick up Console Wars, pick up Ready Player One. It's good stuff. audibletrial.com/SBC. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. If you go to n64josh.com/OP Seat, you automatically save $10 at checkout, and all of their chairs are currently $50 off. So you can save a total of $60, but that summer sale is going to be ending soon, so don't miss it. n64josh.com/OP Seat. Guys, the show notes for this episode, n64josh.com/SBC21. Like NightCrawlr said, come and join the community in the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at n64josh. You can follow this show at Smash Bros. Cast. And that's it, guys. Thank you for being here live. If you have a second, you can leave a review on iTunes. We'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you for listening week in and week out, and we'll see you next Friday. Later.